There is a place in the American desert where $35 billion worth of military jets sit silent, side by side, row after endless row, baking under the Arizona sun. Some of these machines cost more than $300 million each. Some flew combat missions. Some protected the skies over this very country, and now they sit in the dirt, wings still, engines cold, in a place most Americans have never heard of. What happens inside this graveyard? Why does the most powerful military on Earth park its deadliest jets in the open desert and walk away? And what are they doing behind those locked gates that the public is no longer allowed to see? The answers are more surprising than you think, and they reveal something extraordinary about how this country protects its power. Drop a comment right now, type "still flying" if you believe America's retired jets deserve to live on. Let us know. Here is what most people get wrong about this place. They hear the word graveyard and they think abandoned, forgotten, left to rust. But what is actually happening inside this facility is something far more calculated, far more strategic, and honestly, far more fascinating. The jets are not just sitting there doing nothing. They are part of a system so well designed that it has saved the American taxpayer over $4 billion in the last decade alone. But before we get into what they are doing with those aircraft, let's first understand where they are and why this specific patch of desert was chosen above everywhere else in the country. The place is called AMARG, the 309th Aerospace Maintenance and Regeneration Group. It sits at Davis-Monthan Air Force Base in Tucson, Arizona, and it is not small. The facility covers 2,600 acres. That is roughly 4 square miles of land filled with nothing but retired military aircraft. Walking from one end to the other would take the better part of an entire day. From a satellite view, the rows of planes look like some kind of massive aviation parking lot, so perfectly organized, so impossibly large, that it barely looks real. Now, Tucson was not chosen by accident. The military did not simply pick a random location and start parking jets there. The selection of this specific stretch of Arizona desert was a deliberate, science-backed decision, and it comes down to the air itself. Tucson sits at a high elevation with extremely low humidity. The air is dry almost year-round. Moisture is the #1 enemy of aircraft metal. It causes corrosion, rust, and decay that can destroy a multi-million-dollar machine in just a few years. But in Tucson, that threat is almost eliminated entirely. The soil there is also unusually hard and alkaline, which means planes can be moved around the facility without needing paved roads or concrete pads underneath every aircraft. That alone saves enormous amounts of money. When the military realized this in the years right after World War II, they made a decision that has shaped American air power ever since. The story of this place goes all the way back to the years immediately following World War II. The U.S. military suddenly had a massive problem. Tens of thousands of aircraft had been built to fight a global war. The war was over. And now, all those planes had nowhere to go. At its peak, the Army Air Forces were sitting on nearly 65,000 aircraft spread across 30 different airfields. That is an almost unimaginable number. Bases and hangars across the country were filled beyond capacity. Something had to be done, and Davis-Monthan became the answer. Over the following decades, the facility grew from a simple storage lot into the most sophisticated aircraft preservation operation in the world. Today, the numbers inside AMARG are staggering. As of 2026, the facility holds 3,488 aircraft, 75 different aircraft types, 6,700 engines, and together, those aircraft have an original acquisition price, meaning what it cost to build them, of over $35 billion. Let that number sit for a moment. $35 billion worth of machines sitting in the Arizona desert, watched over by roughly 550 workers, almost all of them civilians. Before we go any further, if this is the kind of content that gets you thinking, take a second to hit that like button and subscribe. Most people watch without ever subscribing, and it truly makes a difference in keeping this channel going. Now here is where it gets interesting, because the aircraft at AMARG are not all treated the same way. The military uses a tiered storage system, and the tier an aircraft gets assigned to determines everything about its future. Some planes are stored with the intention of being returned to flying condition within a short window. Others are put into longer-term preservation, essentially sealed up and protected until a decision is made about their fate. And others are already designated for parts reclamation, meaning they will be taken apart piece by piece, their components harvested to keep other aircraft in the active fleet flying. When a jet arrives at AMARG, it goes through a specific intake process. First, all fluids are drained: fuel, hydraulic fluid, oil, explosive components like ejection seat systems are carefully removed. Then the aircraft is washed down to remove any contaminants. After that, it gets sprayed with a white vinyl-like protective coating. That coating does something important. It reflects sunlight, which keeps the interior temperature from spiking in the desert heat. It also seals the aircraft against dust, insects, and the slow creep of oxidation. Engines get plugged, openings get sealed, and then the plane is carefully positioned in its row, tagged, logged, and monitored. The process is methodical, precise, and nothing like the careless left-to-rot image the name graveyard might suggest. But here is the thing that changes how you look at all of this. The parts being pulled from those aircraft, they are not scrap. They are mission-critical components that keep active jets in the air. In fiscal year 2025, the team at AMARG reclaimed 8,399 individual parts from stored aircraft. 85.3% of those parts were classified as priority items, meaning they were urgently needed by active units. The total value of those reclaimed parts was nearly $495 million in a single year, and that is not unique. From 2016 all the way through 2026, AMARG has pulled 79,358 parts from stored aircraft, 86% of them priority, totaling $4.37 billion in value. Every single one of those dollars is a dollar the Department of Defense did not have to spend buying a new part or manufacturing a replacement. That is the real story of AMARG. It is not a graveyard, it is a bank. A reserve account for American air power. And the men and women who work there, those 550 civilians, are the ones managing it every single day. Now, some of those workers perform what is arguably one of the most technically demanding jobs on the base, the egress procedure. When a high-performance fighter jet arrives, trained specialists have to carefully remove the ejection seat systems. These are explosive devices. Handle them wrong, and the consequences are severe. The precision required for this kind of work is extraordinary, and it speaks to the level of professionalism that runs through every part of this operation. Let's talk about what is actually parked inside. Because this is where the scale of American military aviation history truly hits you. The rows of AMARG include B-52 Stratofortress bombers, long-range strategic aircraft that have been flying since the 1950s and are still flying today. B-1B Lancer bombers, F-16 Fighting Falcons, F-15 Eagles, A-10 Thunderbolts, the legendary ground attack aircraft beloved by the soldiers it protected. C-5 Galaxy cargo planes with wingspans of 223 feet. C-130 Hercules transports, over 300 of them, representing aircraft from the Air Force, Navy, Marine Corps, Coast Guard, and even the National Science Foundation. AC-10 Extender aerial refueling tankers recently retired as of 2024. EC-130H Compass Call electronic warfare aircraft. The list goes on and on. In September 2024, 2 E-2C Hawkeye airborne early warning aircraft were transferred in from the Navy. The military has also stored unmanned aerial vehicles, drones, including the Navy's MQ-8C Fire Scout helicopters. AMARG does not just hold fixed-wing aircraft anymore. The operation has expanded to reflect how warfare itself has changed. And here is something the average person would never guess. Some of those parked aircraft are not done flying. Some of them are waiting for a second chance, and they get it. In 2008, a B-52 Stratofortress bomber rolled into AMARG and was sealed up for storage. It sat there for over a decade. Then, in May 2019, that same aircraft, nicknamed Wise Guy, was brought back to life and returned to active service with the United States Air Force. Think about that. A jet that was parked and sealed in the desert for 11 years, brought back to flight status. It was only the second B-52 in history to make that journey from the Boneyard back to the active fleet. The first was a bomber called Ghost Rider, which re-entered service in 2015 after 7 years in storage. Those are not isolated cases. The Air Force has also returned 2 B-1 Lancer bombers to active service after pulling them out of AMARG. C-23 Sherpa aircraft were regenerated for use by the U.S. Forest Service. B-57 Canberra aircraft were transferred to NASA for high-altitude research missions. And retired F-16 Fighting Falcons have been given an entirely new purpose. They are converted into full-sized unmanned aerial target drones used in live fire training exercises to simulate enemy aircraft for American pilots to practice against. A retired jet becomes a training asset. Its second life is literally being shot at so that the next generation of fighter pilots can sharpen their skills. But not every aircraft in AMARG will fly again. Some are completely torn apart for scrap. When an aircraft has been fully stripped of every usable component, the remaining airframe is put up for bid to private salvage companies. There are several scrap dealers located close to Davis-Monthan who have built entire businesses around processing the aluminum, titanium, and other materials from retired military airframes. Even in death, these aircraft generate economic activity and material value. And now comes the question that a lot of people have been asking. What about the F-22 Raptor? The most advanced air superiority fighter jet ever built. A machine that cost somewhere around $350 million per aircraft to produce. The Air Force has been pushing to retire its early model F-22s, the Block 20 variants, and Congress has been going back and forth on the decision. If those retirements go through, those jets are headed to AMARG. They will not be available for parts in the same way older jets are, because the F-22's stealth materials require specialized disposal. They cannot simply be stripped and sold. The radar-absorbing coatings, the composite materials, all of it has to be handled by personnel specifically trained for stealth aircraft disposal. It is one of the most unique and closely managed processes in the entire Boneyard operation. The facility itself continues to grow and evolve. A new maintenance shelter was under construction recently, designed to expand AMARG's capacity to take on additional aircraft and meet rising demand. New hangars have been added with docking systems for regeneration work, structural repairs, and upgrades. The Boneyard is not slowing down, it is expanding. And the public? For years, aviation enthusiasts could take bus tours of the facility, rolling through the rows of stored aircraft and taking in the scale of it all. That changed. Those tours are no longer available, with no plans to restart them. Security considerations led the Air Force to close off outside access to the AMARG grounds. You can no longer get on a bus and roll past the B-52s. The Pima Air and Space Museum nearby still offers views of portions of the facility from its grounds, but the Boneyard itself is locked. What goes on inside stays inside. And that, in a way, says everything. This is not just a place where old planes go to die. It is one of the most strategically important facilities the U.S. military operates. It holds the hardware of 80 years of American aviation history. It supplies parts that keep active fighter jets airborne right now. Today, it resurrects aircraft that the world thought were finished. And it guards secrets about what the military considers valuable enough to preserve and what it considers ready to bury for good. $35 billion, 3,488 aircraft, 75 aircraft types, 4 square miles of desert, and 550 people keeping it all running, quietly, professionally, without fanfare. That is AMARG. That is the Boneyard. Not a graveyard. A vault. If this video gave you a new way of looking at how this country protects and preserves its military power, hit that like button and make sure you are subscribed. There is a lot more coming, and you won't want to miss it.